Okay, we're back and we're looking at the ALV grid currently. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, we will be looking at the actual cost line items report for cost centers. As I also mentioned, these concepts can be used throughout SAP on any ALV grid, but I happen to choose this cost line item report for cost centers because this is a report that is used by many cost center managers, and many of you out there will be familiar with this report, but by all means, these concepts can be used on any ALV grid. The first thing I want to talk about is just started at the top of the screen and work our way down. At the top of the screen, as with many software applications, we have a menu bar. This menu bar does have some options that are specific to the report, and it has some options that are application wide. And typically what we'll see is on the menu bar, the first 4 or 5 options on the menu are relevant to the current report, and the system and the help menu, and I'll open one of these, uh, are specific to the application. But when we get over into this area, we're starting to see menu options that are very specific to the report we're looking at. As we move down, we see the application toolbar. This application toolbar typically does not have very much to do with the current transaction we're looking at. It's more of a global toolbar that allows us to enter a new transaction and navigate to it, or to back out of the current screen, or to exit completely out of the screen. But these options are typically related to the application and not so specific to the ALV grid. Next, we are typically will see the name of the current report, and this is uh, sometimes a little longer name than what we may even see on the selection screen, but it's pretty obvious what we're looking at here. Next, we get down to the report toolbar that does have functionality that is specific to what we're looking at on the current report. We can look at the source document, the document that actually created this CO posting that's relevant to this cost center. We can see master data records and a number of different things that we'll talk about today, and we will be using uh, much of this functionality that's represented in these toolbar options we'll be using. In the next section, many times we'll see again a name of the report, and this is somewhat of the report header, where if we were to print, we would see information here. In this particular report on this system, there is no report header, but it's not uncommon to see the name of the report, possibly a date. Uh, Many times you'll see some of the selection criteria that you used. So don't be surprised if you see data here, and expect that data to print if you decide to print this report. Next is a single row of the column headers. This is what we would expect to see in any reporting tabular format. At least we would usually see the column headers across the top, and based on the size of the column, this tooltip may or may not match exactly to what we're seeing here. And for an example, because this column for document type is only 2 characters, the column has minimized down to a size that only shows a column header of doc type. But as we mouse over it, we see the full description, which is document type. Next, we see a value in reporting currency, and that happens to match the data that we are expecting to see. So this gives you a general idea as to what's happening in terms of display, but now we get into the actual report data, and this is what we actually want to see on the report. All the other information is valuable, but uh, this is actually what we, based on the selection criteria, this is the data that is being returned in this section.